There is a photo doing the rounds today that has every Celtic supporter talking. Callum McGregor has been pictured with Brendan Rodgers' son, and the details behind it are genuinely eyebrow-raising. Martin O'Neill has also made his most urgent statement yet about the need for new signings. Rangers have moved faster than Celtic this summer in a way that is hard to ignore. The inside story of how the Camilo Duran deal actually happened has emerged, and a January target has officially signed for a Bundesliga club. Let's get into it. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Callum McGregor has been photographed alongside Anton Rodgers, the son of Brendan Rodgers, in a picture connected to his recent move to a new agency, and the details around it have added genuine fuel to the speculation about his future. McGregor appears to have joined Unique Sports Group, the same agency that represents Brendan Rodgers. The confirmation came through a since-deleted LinkedIn post from James Hussey, the agency's head of operations for the Middle East and North Africa, which was picked up by Google before being removed. The visible section read, "I'm delighted that Callum McGregor has chosen to join Unique Sports Group and become my third client on this football journey." A photo attached to that post showed McGregor alongside Hussey and Anton Rodgers. Anton works with Unique Sports Group in a coaching and representation role and was directly involved in the negotiations that took Brendan Rodgers to Al Qadsiya in Saudi Arabia in December, working alongside Unique agent Will Salthouse throughout that process. To be clear, the article does not suggest Anton is representing McGregor directly. He appears to be looked after by Hussey while Salthouse handles Rodgers Sr., but McGregor, his new representative, and someone who played a central role in bringing his former manager to Saudi Arabia were all together in the same photograph shortly after the agency switch became known. There is no confirmed offer from Al Qadsiya. No formal approach to Celtic has been reported. McGregor is under contract until the summer of 2028. But the timing of all of this, on top of everything that has been said and written about his future in recent months, means this story is not going away. Celtic supporters will be watching the next few weeks of transfer business very carefully, and so will he. Now for the main story, as Martin O'Neill has delivered his most urgent message yet about the need to get recruitment done, warning that the Champions League qualifier is already upon Celtic and the club cannot afford to let the summer drift. O'Neill spoke in Portugal ahead of the squad's friendly against Sporting on Monday, and the language he used made his feelings on the situation absolutely clear. Speaking to the Daily Record, he said, "I honestly don't think I've ever paced myself. Unfortunately, football doesn't give you the chance to pace yourself, so I've never done that. It's just going full throttle now. I think the recruitment is very, very important to try and get some more players in if we can do. And I think the Champions League game is nearly within a couple of matches of the season starting. It's upon you." He did not stop there. O'Neill was equally direct about what happened last season in Europe and how much it affected the group. He said, that's obviously a big game. If you don't win that, you drop into the Europa League. But even so, that's a game that the side this time last year looked as if they could win, and they didn't do. That was a major disappointment. I think it took quite some time to get over it as well, regardless of playing in the Europa League. So yes, there are big games coming thick and fast now, so quickly. Celtic know the stakes. Failing in the Champions League qualifier last season, going out at the playoff stage to a side they were expected to beat, was a wound that did not close quickly. O'Neill wants to make sure the squad is in a completely different position when that test comes around again this August. One signing is not enough. The manager has made that as plain as it is possible to make it. The window is open, the qualifier is coming, and Celtic need to move. In other news, Martin O'Neill has revealed for the first time that Celtic had been tracking Camilo Duran since April, months before the deal was officially completed, and that the uncertainty around his own future at the club made the process significantly more complicated. Duran became Celtic's first signing of the summer this week, joining from Karabakh after a standout Champions League campaign in which he won the Player of the Match award against Eintracht Frankfurt. He pushed for the move himself despite interest from clubs in Brazil, which says a great deal about his desire to play in Glasgow. What is now clear is that Celtic were watching him long before anyone knew O'Neill would be the man in charge. Speaking to the Daily Record, the manager said, "We've looked at him for a couple of months. We thought about him as far back as April time. Again, he's one of those where if you're not going to be the manager, then you're not sure that the next manager fancies some of the players. But anyway, we've got over the line now. I think he'll do fine. That is a fascinating insight into how transfer business works inside a club when there is managerial uncertainty. O'Neill was interim. He did not know if he would be in charge permanently. Recommending a signing when you might not be the one in charge to manage that player is a difficult position to be in. The moment the appointment was confirmed, the deal could move forward. Duran is now in Portugal training with the squad. O'Neill's comments show this was a considered decision, not a rushed one. The deal took months to come together. Whether Duran becomes a key player will only become clear once the serious football starts. In other news, Celtic's slow start to the transfer window has been thrown into sharp focus by the pace at which Rangers have moved this summer, signing 2 former Hearts players and appointing their former manager all within a matter of weeks. Lawrence Shankland was first to make the move from Edinburgh to Glasgow, joining Rangers as a free agent. Now Cammy Devlin has followed him to Ibrox, leaving Hearts after a season in which the midfielder was one of the most consistent performers in the division. Celtic News understands the Celts showed no interest in signing Devlin, despite some speculation linking him with a move to Parkhead. That means Derek McInnes now has the Hearts manager, the Hearts captain, and a key Hearts midfielder already in place as he builds his Rangers squad. All three understand the demands of Scottish football, know how to compete in a title race, and come with the pressure of having pushed Celtic to the final day last season. Celtic, by contrast, have completed one signing. Camilo Duran is a genuinely interesting addition, but he is one player. O'Neill has spoken about going full throttle. He has spoken about the Champions League qualifier being around the corner. The problem right now is that words and completed deals are very different things. None of this means Celtic should panic. The window has time left, and Celtic have historically operated later in the summer than rivals. They may also be targeting a different type of player. Lastly, the Oscar Voychic chapter is now officially closed after the centre-back signed for Werder Bremen, ending any prospect of a move to Celtic this summer. Werder confirmed the signing with a social media post earlier this week. Reports suggest the fee was around €3 million, potentially rising with add-ons, with a 15% sell-on clause included for Cracovia. It is a figure that was clearly within Celtic's reach, which will sting supporters who have watched this situation develop since January. Celtic tried to sign Voychic during the winter transfer window. Reports at the time suggested a bid in excess of €4 million was lodged but rejected, with Cracovia holding firm for closer to €5 million. The deal failed to happen before the deadline, and for months the sense was that Celtic would return in the summer and try again. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.